The last 2 months of my training honestly have not been that good. And that's a bit uncomfortable to say out loud, because on this channel I talk a lot about smart training, having patience and listening to your body. And after the Valencia Marathon, I haven't done that all that great myself. And today I want to be brutally honest about where my fitness is right now, some mistakes I made. So after this warm-up or cool down, it's really cold out here, I will do a short treadmill session that will decide if I'm ready to race already in 3 days from now. After I ran the Valencia Marathon, I had really hoped that I could carry the fitness from that whole training block into my big goal for 2026, which is to get some speed back and finally run a sub 16-minute 5K. But the problem came after that race. I wanted to be back quickly and I rushed into training, adding some high intensity work way too early, and I completely neglected all of the warning signs, and I ended up with both Achilles and knee problems. So yeah, I did exactly the things I warned others about, and yeah, it came at a high price. Just a few weeks ago I was in the worst shape I've been in a very long time, and just continued to fail with getting back into proper training. So that's when I decided I actually needed to start being a smart coach to myself again and actually listen to my own advice. And after being more sensible with my training, slowly building it up again, things were really moving in the right direction. But then I got sick. So this is my first short training session back after some days completely off. Short warm-up done, or as I said, you don't really get warm out there. It's been really cold in Norway. So I'm glad I have the treadmill back there that I soon will jump on. But before that, I want to talk a bit about why I even set this goal to run a sub 60-minute 5K. And I honestly find it a bit uncomfortable sharing my own training journey and tend to think, why should anyone really care? But I have decided to share a bit more about my own training on the channel. And let me explain why. For many years after I stopped with my elite orienteering career, I honestly thought that I shouldn't have these big, ambitious training goals anymore. I mean, what's the point? I'm not an elite athlete and I have other priorities. I prioritize my family and my work and my coaching way more than my own training. And what's the point if you don't go 100% at it? At least that was what I was thinking. But the older I get, the more I realized how completely wrong I was about this. Because training can mean just as much and sometimes even more for everyday athletes like you and me. Although you have other priorities, that takes time to have a goal on the side, something that feels rewarding to you to work towards, can be so meaningful. And honestly, nowadays I find it more motivating listen to and hearing about parents with busy lives who still prioritize training without sacrificing the important things in life with the kids and their work and other aspects, but still maintain some goals for themselves and work toward that with the limited time they have for that. Compared to professional athletes with completely different lives and maybe more importantly, completely different genetics. And that's also the beautiful thing about running. You compete against yourself and your own goals, and I'm saying this as much to myself as you are allowed to care about your training at any level, if it adds value to your life and gives you meaning and motivation. So I thought I would share this journey here on the channel, chasing a sub 16 minutes in the 5K. Maybe it will be 50 episodes of me continuously failing, or maybe I will do it already in 3 days, which is very unlikely. But in 3 days I am supposed to be racing my first race of the year, an indoor 5,000 meter in the basement of Bislett here in Norway. And honestly, this race was one of the reasons I made some really stupid training decisions after Valencia. I tried to rush back when my body clearly wasn't ready. So I've taken a step back, I've gradually built up my running volume, done some cycling, rehab exercises, and slowly reintroduced some light threshold training. And the last weeks it's been feeling better and better until I got sick. So now I had to take some days off again from training altogether and I'm very unsure if I'm even going to be able to race. So either way, I find it very unlikely that I will get close to that 60-minute mark this time. And since I'm trying to do these things smart, I don't even know if I should race or if I'm going to race. Today's treadmill session will help decide that. I will basically just be running a bit faster for the first time and try to do a smart decision after that. One thing that I've been focusing more on during this kind of reset phase of my training is mobility work. Not spending a lot of my precious training time on it, just enough to keep training flowing and preventing tightness in some key areas for me. For this I've been using the GoWod app. It's the sponsor of this video, and it's a strength and mobility app that makes this kind of work much easier to stay consistent with and actually get done. And the best thing about this app is that it customizes the exercise based on a mobility screening test, so it's individualized to you. And right now I'm choosing a specific activation session here for running, and I only want to do it 6 minutes. That's enough right now, and it will focus on my hips because that's what it found in the screening, that my hips are a bit tight and could be an issue, and that is something I completely agree with as well. I often do this kind of work after a short warm-up to get ready, especially before high-intensity sessions. It tends to feel a lot better just doing some active mobility work. And what I like with GoWod is that it makes it more fun, because I don't think it's the most fun to do this kind of exercises, but you get varied exercises. So thanks to GoWod for making this kind of work a bit more motivating and easier to get done. If you want to check out the app, there's a link in the description. Now let's hit the treadmill. And for this session I will be using the Puma Faster Elite 3, I think they're called. And that's because I want to get my feet a bit ready for them if I'm going to race in a couple of days, because this will be my weapon of choice. And I haven't run much in this, but I ran my last 10k where I made a huge PB of 33:29, I think I ran. And this is the shoes I think and hope I will be able to break sub 16 in, and they are something new. I've been running a lot with the Nike Alpha Flies, but I think this took a new step in how fast shoes actually can feel and help you, especially in the shorter distances. I didn't dare to run the marathon in these because they're quite demanding on the calves. But for shorter distances, like the 5k, 10k, these are my current choice for sure. And I'm quite excited actually about the shoe year of 2026, because now I think Puma took another step with these shoes, and it will be really interesting to see how the other brands answer to this and how fast shoes actually can get. And I think it's fun with these shoes, although runners tend to spend too much money on them. At least they motivate us to do some training. So if shoes motivate you, I think it can be a good thing to spend some money on, but as long as you don't start to think that shoes will replace any training, because it's quite limiting what good shoes can do with someone who hasn't trained, and that is basically the case with me now after a rough period. But hopefully the training will match these fast shoes pretty soon. That honestly didn't feel all that great. I still feel like I'm probably not completely back from my illness, and also felt the knee a little bit, which often tend to happen when you had some days completely off. It takes some days before the body fully cooperates again. And right there on the treadmill, I took the hard decision to not race in 3 days. I'm trying to be smart, lead by example, and not push my body when it's clearly not ready. It's I could probably race without it causing any big issues, but I have this goal of running a 60-minute 5k, and racing all out on a hard track surface this weekend doesn't get me closer to that goal. What I need now is to start training sensibly again. it's hard making these decisions when you really want to race. I love running races, and I've been looking forward to this one. But I am really motivated to get back to training and get that sub 16 done this year. So follow along and subscribe if you want to follow on that journey. And thanks a lot to GoWood for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out that app, you can click here. Train smart, have fun, and I will see you in the next video.